Hello and welcome to Charter Local Edition Northwest. I'm Dana Cowley and my guest today is Oregon Senator Becky Johnson. Thank you for being here.
Very nice to see you again.
You are a great asset and a powerhouse to trying to help the economy on the Oregon coast. What are you working on now?
Well, I'm working on probably the most exciting thing I've ever worked on. This is not directly on the coast, but because I represent coastal counties, it will have a ripple effect. In fact, I believe it has statewide implications, if not regional, if not national. I'm working with the Boeing Airplane Company to recruit their only North American training facility coupled with an R&D facility. And the reason that we're doing research and development is that Boeing Airplane Company has its largest machine shop in the entire world in Gresham, Oregon. And so we're about an hour's drive away from Gresham. And this facility is modeled on an example that started in Sheffield, England, called the Advanced Manufacturing Research Center. It started a decade ago with 10 people in a 12,000 square foot building. It now employs 2,000 people. It has $1 billion in economic impact, and the real estate there that started out as a spent coal mine is now the most valuable real estate in the UK outside of the ground that Parliament sits on. And so we are partnered with PCC, Portland Community College, to do the training component using the European model of apprentices that come out at age 16, 17, 18. They will get coupled with a company. They're put through school. They are paid a stipend by the company, and then at the end of their certificate, they go to work for the company, debt-free out of school. And on the other side is an industry-driven, industry-governed, industry-managed R&D facility doing advanced applied research across a variety of aerospace and metallurgical aspects of inquiry. And that is supported by several tiers of companies. The Tier 1 companies are our principal investors, Tier 2 and on down. That is supported by Oregon State University, Portland State University, and Oregon Institute of Technology. They're building a physical campus in Columbia County, the county that I represent, not directly on the coast, but in my Senate district, as well as finishing a second phase of due diligence on a 33 or 36,000 square foot building that will house the initial industry R&D. So it is very exciting. I've been working with the founders of the AMRC. They're in the United States right now. This will be their third trip over to help us secure the business partners that we need to run the research and development. If we can deliver on this promise, not only will we be educating a bunch of kids in disciplines that are highly sought after in aerospace and metal manufacturing, but we may add other research disciplines like fiber research or food additive research. And by additive, I mean the food and beverage industry is growing exponentially in Oregon with craft distilleries, craft breweries.
So many premium products.
Exactly, and all sorts of foodie innovations, and we would like to capitalize on that. The AMRC has 7 disciplines. They include unmanned flying vehicles, composites. They do work for McLaren Racing, which is an iconic English brand. We'll never be trying to make McLaren race cars go faster, greener, cleaner.
But why? Just kidding.
Well, we have the very real possibility that we can set this facility, and again, it's Boeing's only North American facility. They've stood up 14 of these around the world, and Oregon gets a shot at their 14th, and I'm in the vanguard of trying to push for that opportunity.
What's it like from a lawmaker perspective working with Boeing, and then when do you expect this to come into fruition?
Well, the legislature has already made a $7.5 million investment, and the most complicated piece of this is putting together all the partnership agreements. For example, who owns intellectual property? Who owns the equipment? Who provides faculty? How is the faculty remunerated? Whose faculty does what work? At the Sheffield facility, they have brought collaboration to such a high point that folks wearing Boeing shirts are actually doing applied research on Airbus, their principal competitor. Now, obviously, the appropriate IP firewalls are in place and everybody feels protected that their intellectual property is secure. But I believe that in the Oregon way of doing business, if we can have that kind of a collaborative model and put our powerhouse research universities together with a community college that's actually training young people, that will have the best of both worlds, a highly trained, motivated workforce working with our region's premier signature companies, and be able to put some kids into the workplace in these very desirable jobs.
Well, Betsy, I wish you the best of luck with this effort. Thank you so much for being here and being our guest. And
thank you.
Thank you so much for your service to our communities.
Thank you very much for having us.
Oregon Senator Betsy Johnson, I'm Dana Cowley, and you're watching Charter Local Edition Northwest.